Rookie of the Year. Now, with new weapons to play with, he'll look to build on his success in year 2. Meanwhile, the Vikings, they're going to hand the reins over to J.J. McCarthy this season. McCarthy missed his entire rookie year with a torn meniscus, and this year he'll take over a team that went 14-3 without him. However, he won't be without help. He's coached by the reigning coach of the year and throws to one of the best receivers in the league. All right, so then, Mike T, who's in a better position between Daniels and McCarthy?
It is Daniels. And Monica, hopefully RC and Harry are taking copious notes. Write this down. Jaden Daniels was in the offseason program. So, look, I think Jaden Daniels is going to have an unbelievable year for a number of reasons. But to me, it starts up front. Left tackle, Laramie Tunsil. Right tackle, Josh Connerly, first-round pick out of Oregon. Show me 2 good tackles and a young, great quarterback, and that you're going to see massive improvement. Cliff Kingsbury, we know, has done a great job throughout his career developing quarterbacks. He's had a whole offseason with Jaden Daniels. And then lastly, guys, Deebo Samuel. Deebo is great behind the line of scrimmage, jet sweeps, quick game. So to me, you have the explosiveness of what we saw with Washington a year ago. You have an offseason with 2 improved tackles, and now you have the quick game with Deebo Samuel, who's made a living with run after catch. So taking nothing away from J.J. McCarthy and what I think he'll be able to do in Minnesota, which I'm encouraged by, but I think we're looking at a superstar in Jaden Daniels with more experience, more protection, and better weapons. And most importantly, fellas, an off-season program.
Talk to me. Nice, Mike T. I like the sound of that. What you got, Harry?
I love that nice soliloquy that Mike Tannenbaum gave us all. But what we do know about the National Football League, that it is a team game, right? And it takes everyone to be able to accomplish a goal and winning what? A championship, right? How quickly you forget that in the 6 losses that the Commanders had last season, that they allowed, including the playoffs, 162 rush yards per game and gave up 7 touchdowns in an NFC championship game. How quickly you forgot. So when I look at the Minnesota Vikings and I say, wow, this was the team that was number 1 in takeaways. They were 2nd versus the run on defense. They were 5th in points allowed and 3rd on third down defense. How quickly you exclude that from the Washington Commanders and not want to point those things out. But let me point it out for the Minnesota Vikings because, see, they're well balanced all around. You talked about that offensive line for the Washington Commanders, Mike T. Where do you rank the Minnesota Vikings offensive line?
Right up there.
Right up where? Top 5 in the league? Like
close to the Commanders.
Close to the Commanders? Yeah. Or better than the Commanders?
Close to the Commanders.
Because I'm going better. Where do you rate the wide receiver room? Because, see, Mike T, what you also forgot to mention is that there's a guy that's a little disgruntled in Washington right now by the name of Terry McLaurin, who is the number 1 wide receiver for the Washington Commanders.
Relax,
and he wants a new contract. So when I look at the Minnesota Vikings, Mike T, I gave you. Mike T,
you're contradicting yourself.
No.
5 minutes ago, the offseason program wasn't important, and now it is.
I'm not done. I'm not done yet, because he's potentially going to hold out and not be there for his top quarterback. So we don't have to worry about that when it comes to Justin Jefferson, who I still believe is the best receiver in football, not T.J. Hockenson or Jordan Addison. Or did you talk about the running back in Aaron Jones that the Minnesota Viking has? So how quickly you forget about all these things when factoring in who is in the best position to win this season. So that's why I'm choosing J.J. McCarthy. I know and I understand he hasn't taken a snap yet. But in my opinion, all J.J. McCarthy has to do is not mess it up for the Minnesota Vikings. That's why I'm rocking with him in this discussion.
On that argument. RC, what you got? It's solid. Of course I'm rooting for my Commanders. Duh, Harry, don't take that personal. Go, RC.
I know Monica is hosting the show, so I'm going to ask Harry a couple of questions if that's okay.
Okay.
Yep. Harry, all of the stats you just gave us were from what year?
2024.
2024.
Correct.
All of the players you mentioned on Minnesota's team, were they also on the team in 2024?
Yes.
Yes.
I know where you're going, RC.
To the best of your recollection, were the Washington Commanders?
Yes, they were in the NFC Championship game. I know where you're going, RC. Yes, they was in the NFC Championship game. I know where you're going.
Well done. Well done.
And where were the Minnesota Vikings at this time sir, when the Washington Commanders were playing in the NFC Championship?
Stay out of grown folks' business, RC. Leave me alone.
With their feet up, baby.
Just checking.
Leave me alone, RC.
Hey, exactly. And so I get it, Harry. You were talking about soliloquies because you were placed in your space of Stephen A. Smith. But it doesn't matter because what we're asking is a question that can be answered in a very simple way. Even though we talk about how are these quarterbacks set up, right? That's important. We always say where a quarterback lands is as possible as or is as important as where he's picked, right? Or when he's picked in the draft. Guess what? You know what else is important? How good the damn quarterback is.
True story.
How transcendent the quarterback is. How much better the quarterback makes people around him who might not be that good be. And guess what? Jaden Daniels did that. The Washington Commanders picked second the year they got Jaden Daniels, and they went all the way to the NFC Championship. And some things had to fall in their favor. You know what else fell in their favor? The damn quarterback was really good. And the quarterback has had an opportunity to grow, to learn, to be in important moments, and to see that above all else, no matter what quarterback is standing on the other side, if it's Jared Goff, guess what? I can beat him in Detroit in the playoffs. If it's Baker Mayfield, guess what? I can beat him in the playoffs. If it's Jalen Hurts, I can go out there and do my part. The other guys just got to do theirs too. And so do I think that J.J. McCarthy is set up for success? Hell yeah. Kevin O'Connell, phenomenal coach. Justin Jefferson, one of the best wide receivers to ever play the game. TJ Hawkinson, Aaron Jones, Jordan Addison, a great defense with Brian Flores. All of that is true. But when you talk about these two quarterbacks, I know something about one of them that I don't know about the other one. I know that one of them has a chance to be an all-time great. I know one of them has already not elevated only one organization or university, but two. And we've seen it happen before our eyes. And I know the one that's in Washington got more help this year than he had last year. So for me, the quarterbacks that set up best is the quarterback that is better, and that's Jaden Daniels.
Well, see, no, I would disagree with that, RC, because here's the question. Who is in a better position to win this season? That's not just the quarterback. It's also what's also around you. And it's a difference when you're Jaden Daniels and you do everything in your rookie season, and I love Jaden Daniels. But it's a difference when you now become the hunted. Mm-hmm. And when you get to a certain point where you're trying to hoist up that Lombardi trophy, when your defense cannot stop the run, right, and you give up 7 touchdowns in an NFC Championship game, that matters. That has to factor in.
Right. And look, I don't think, and that's fair, but I don't think the Commander defense is going to be dominant, but they're going to be a lot better. They signed Javon Kinlaw. They just added Von Miller, who maybe can give them 15 snaps a game. Mikey Sanderstill, I think, is going to be a really good nickel corner. If Marshawn Lattimore can stay healthy, he's going to give them much better corner play than they had. So is it ideal? Trey Amos, exactly. So again, is it ideal, Harry? No, but the other factor here we're not talking about is the division, right? The NFC North is historically great. So to me, when you look at the NFC East, it's Washington.
What's up, Vikings Nation? It's Victor here from Report Vikings. And man, we've got a spicy trade idea floating around involving a name not many of us expected. Jalen Nailor. Yeah, that's right. Speedy Nailor, our WR3, is getting tossed into trade talks, and the proposal is bold. Let's break this down, see if it makes any sense, and I'll tell you exactly how I feel about it. But first, if you love Vikings football like I do, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any updates. Alright, let's dive into it. So here's the deal. The idea came from Sam Ekstrom on the Locked On Vikings podcast, and it's actually pretty interesting. The theory is, we send Jalen Nailor and a mid-round draft pick over to the 49ers, and in return, we get wide receiver Jawan Jennings. Now, before you freak out, yes, Jennings is looking for a big contract, and yeah, he's 28 years old. But Ekstrom makes the case that he could instantly become one of the most physical and efficient WR3s in the league. Last season, Jennings had 77 catches for 975 yards and 6 touchdowns. He was 3rd in contested catch rate at over 62% and 12th in yards per route run. That's crazy efficient. Now let's talk Vikings. Would this move even make sense for us? Look, Naylor is under contract through 2025. He finally stayed healthy last season, finished with 28 catches, 414 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Solid WR3 numbers, no doubt. But here's the thing, we drafted Ty Felton in the 3rd round this year, and with Jordan Addison possibly facing a suspension to start the season, depth is gonna matter a lot. If you bring in a guy like Jennings, you're not just covering for Addison, you're upgrading the position. Imagine this, Jefferson, Addison, Jennings, and then you've still got TJ Hawkinson underneath. That's a nasty group of weapons for Sam Darnold or JJ McCarthy, whoever wins the starting QB job. But here's the catch, Jennings wants a payday. Ekstrom floated a 2-year, $25 million extension, front-loaded to protect cap space in 2026. Now let's be real, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah doesn't usually go after moves like this. He's not the splashy big contract trade type of GM, and we all know the Vikings are already thinking long-term with extensions coming up for Addison down the road, plus that huge Jefferson deal. So yeah, it's a risk. You'd be buying high on a guy who's really only had one breakout year. But man, if this coaching staff really wants to win now and push this offense to another level, Jennings could absolutely help do that. Alright, here's my take, and y'all let me know in the comments if you agree. I actually kinda love this idea. Look, I respect what Naylor's done here. Dude has speed, he stepped up late last season, and he showed he belongs. But if this team believes Ty Felton is ready, and you've got a chance to bring in a proven physical WR like Jennings, I say go for it. Especially if Addison misses time, especially if we want to go toe-to-toe with elite NFC offenses. It wouldn't take a first or even a second to get it done. Naylor in a conditional 4th might be all it takes. The money would be tricky, yeah, but it's doable with smart cap work and void years. And hey, depth matters. Injuries happen. You can never have too many dudes who can go up and make tough catches over the middle. So, what do y'all think? Would you trade Jalen Naylor and a mid-round pick for Jawan Jennings? Or do you believe in Naylor's upside and want to see what he does with a bigger role in 2025? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear what Vikings Nation is thinking on this one. And don't forget, if you're rocking with me here on Report Vikings, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a big update. We're just getting started, and training camp is around the corner. As call my people, let's get it.